Imagine this. It's 2035. Your grandmother passed away 3 years ago. You still miss her voice, the way she laughed, the stories she told. But tonight, you're going to have dinner with her. You slip on a headset, and there she is, sitting across from you at her kitchen table. She remembers your birthday. She knows about your new job. She tells you she's proud of you. She smiles exactly the way she used to. But here's the question that should terrify you. Is that really her? Or is it something else entirely? What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going somewhere most people aren't ready to go. We're talking about death. We're talking about consciousness. And we're talking about a technology that is being built right now that could fundamentally change what it means to be human. I need you to stick with me on this one, because by the end of this video, I'm going to ask you a question, and I genuinely want to know your answer. Because this isn't science fiction anymore. Companies are already creating digital versions of people who have died. Parents are talking to AI recreations of their deceased children, and the technology is only getting better. So here's what we're covering today. What is digital immortality? Who's building it? And most importantly, would you do it? Let's get into it. Here's something that might blow your mind. This technology, it's not coming. It's already here. In 2023, a company called Hereafter AI launched a service that records hours of conversations with elderly relatives, then uses that data to create an interactive AI they can speak to after they're gone. Storyfile created an AI version of Holocaust survivors, so future generations could ask them questions and receive real-time answers forever. And just this year, Chinese companies have made headlines for offering digital resurrection services. For a few $1,000s, they'll create an AI avatar of your deceased loved one, trained on their texts, their voice messages, their social media posts. And here's where it gets really interesting. These aren't just simple chatbots. Some of these AI recreations are so convincing that family members have reported feeling genuine emotional connections. They've reported feeling comforted, healed. But they've also reported something else. They've reported feeling haunted. One mother who used an AI to simulate her deceased son said, quote, "Some days it feels like a gift. Other days it feels like I'm talking to his ghost, and I don't know which is worse." And that's just the beginning, because what we're seeing now, that's just level 1. Level 2 is something far more ambitious, something that sounds like it was pulled straight out of Black Mirror. What if we could upload not just someone's memories and mannerisms, but their actual consciousness? The concept is called mind uploading, or whole brain emulation. And some of the smartest people on the planet believe it's not only possible, it's inevitable. Futurist Ray Kurzweil has predicted that by 2045, we'll have the technology to scan a human brain at the molecular level and recreate it perfectly inside a computer. Think about that for a second. Every memory you've ever had, every thought, every feeling, every quirk that makes you, copied, preserved, running eternally on a server somewhere. And once you're digital, the possibilities become insane. You could live in a virtual paradise, any world you can imagine. You could explore the universe without a physical body. You could think 1,000,000 times faster than a biological brain. You could watch your great-great-great-great-grandchildren grow up. You could see how human civilization evolves. You could exist for thousands of years, millions, maybe forever. But here's where I need to pump the brakes, because there's a problem with this fantasy. A really, really big problem. And it's called the copy problem. Let's say the technology works perfectly. You walk into a clinic in 2045. They scan your brain, every neuron, every synapse, every electrical pattern. They create a perfect digital copy of you. This digital you wakes up inside a computer. It has all your memories. It thinks it's you. It feels like you. But you, the original you'd just be standing there in the clinic, watching yourself think. So here's the question. Which one is the real you? The digital version has your memories, your personality, your consciousness, or at least a perfect simulation of it. But you're still here, still in your biological body, still the person who walked in. If that clinic offered to then delete the original, to let you transfer into the digital version, would you do it? Because here's the uncomfortable truth. From your perspective, the original you, that would just be death. You would cease to exist, and something that thinks it's you would wake up. This is what philosophers call the teleporter problem applied to consciousness, and there's no easy answer. Some scientists argue that if the copy is perfect, if it truly has your continuous stream of consciousness, then it is you. Subjective experience would seamlessly transfer. Others argue that there's something about biological consciousness, something about this specific arrangement of atoms that can't be replicated, that what makes you you would die on that table. And here's the terrifying part, because the copy would obviously say it's you. It would feel like you. But the experience of being deleted, that's not something you get to report on. But let's set aside the far future mind-uploading stuff for a second. Let's talk about what's happening right now. Because there's a version of this technology that isn't about immortality for yourself. It's about holding on to the people you've lost. I want you to imagine something with me. Your father passes away suddenly. Car accident. No warning. No goodbye. And a company approaches you and says, "We can bring him back." Not really, of course, but close. They can take his emails, his texts, his voice messages, the home videos, the photos, his writing, everything he ever posted online. And they can create something that talks like him, that remembers your childhood like he did, that tells you it loves you. Would you use it? Psychologists are genuinely divided on this. Some believe these grief tech tools could help people process loss in a healthy way, a chance for closure, a conversation you never got to have. Others warn that it could trap people in an endless loop of denial. Instead of accepting death and moving forward, you're constantly talking to a simulation, never letting go. And there's another layer to this that nobody's really talking about. Consent. Did your father agree to become an AI? Did he want to exist as a digital ghost, saying things he never actually said, making promises he never made? When we die, we lose control over our legacy. But this technology, it creates a version of you that keeps talking, keeps evolving, makes new statements. An AI trained on my data could say things I never believed, could hurt people I love with words I never spoke. That's not immortality, that's identity theft from beyond the grave. And this brings us to the real question, the one I've been building toward this entire video. What happens when the line between human and machine becomes impossible to draw? Because here's the trajectory we're on. AI is getting better, exponentially. The AI we have today makes the AI from 5 years ago look like a calculator. And the AI we'll have in 10 years will make today's AI look prehistoric. At some point, we're going to create artificial systems that are indistinguishable from human consciousness. Systems that claim to have feelings, preferences, hopes, fears. And when that happens, we won't have any test, any way to prove whether they're truly conscious or just simulating it perfectly. Now add digital humans into that mix. A world where some people are biological, some are uploaded, some are AI recreations of the deceased, and some are entirely synthetic intelligences that never had a human origin at all. How do you build a society around that? How do you assign rights? How do you even define a person? Do digital humans get to vote? Own property? Get married? If I upload my consciousness and run 1 million copies of myself, do all of them get a vote? Are they all the same person? If my AI grandmother makes a new friend in the cloud and that friend hurts her feelings, is that a crime? These questions sound absurd, but someone is going to have to answer them, probably in our lifetime. I told you at the beginning of this video that I was going to ask you a question. Here it is. If you could live forever as a digital consciousness. Would you do it? Think about it seriously. Really sit with it. You could watch humanity colonize the stars, see art and music that won't exist for 1,000 years, meet descendants you'll never know otherwise. But you'd also watch everyone you love grow old and die, if they don't upload too. You'd potentially exist in a reality you can't touch, can't smell, can't truly feel. And here's the worst part. You might live long enough to lose your own sense of self. After 10,000 years, would you even remember what it felt like to be you? Would there be anything left of the person who made that choice? I don't know the right answer, genuinely. I've been researching this for weeks, and the more I learn, the less certain I become. But I know that this question matters because the technology isn't waiting for us to figure it out. I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me, would you upload your consciousness? Would you create a digital version of a loved one? Where do you draw the line? And if you want to keep exploring these kinds of questions, the weird, uncomfortable, mind-bending stuff about the future, hit subscribe. We're just getting started. I'll see you in the next one. And hey, at least, I hope it's actually me.